Since May 2022, Chelsea has spent over 1.5 billion pounds on players. 1.5 billion. That's more than the combined GDP of the Marshall Islands, Tonga, American Samoa, and Palau. What I mean to say is, if Todd Boehly was really bored, he could have literally bought a few islands. But no, the man instead bought Chelsea FC with a bunch of other rich folk under the consortium Blue Co. And ever since, they have turned this club into some sort of fish market. In my opinion, it is becoming more and more evident as the years go by that Blue Co's main motivation at Chelsea Football Club is not winning trophies. That's optional. Their goal seems to be becoming just competitive enough to increase the club's valuation, while making a lot of money by signing players well before their primes for cheap and selling them later to bigger clubs for a premium. Basically, they're turning into the high-end version of Brighton. I know a lot of Chelsea fans will disagree with this assessment, but there are a few examples that really back up my claim. The first being the acquisition of Alejandro Garnacho for around £40 million from Manchester United. Garnacho plays in a position where Chelsea already have a lot of firepower on the wings. They have Pedro Neto, Estevao, Jamie Gittins, Tariq George, and even João Pedro can play there. While that might not be the greatest winger lineup, it's still abundant enough that another one shouldn't have been bought before moving a few out. Especially when another left winger, Raheem Sterling, is also on their books, but is weirdly not even part of the squad. Secondly, what makes Garnacho a horrible signing is that Chelsea have positions where they really need reinforcements. Their central defenders are average, and for an ambitious club, they aren't good enough. Their keeper, Robert Sanchez, is also extremely mid and mistake prone. Given these issues, it becomes very evident that Garnacho was an absolutely pointless signing. The only reason they bought him seems to be that they felt Manchester United were undervaluing him, and in a season they can probably sell him for 60 million to the Saudis and make a profit. That's literally what they did with João Felix, who was also a brain-dead signing in terms of what Chelsea needed, similarly with Modric and similarly with Sterling. They are all proving to be shambolic signings that will lose Chelsea a lot of money. Most of these deals didn't even make footballing sense. They were just bought because the owners wanted a new toy. There doesn't seem to be any method to Chelsea's madness, and it all seems to be down on the owners. Even the manager, Enzo Maresca, seems to be somewhat of a yes man when it comes to signings and input in the transfer market. There doesn't seem to be a strong footballing voice challenging the ownership's decision. Every player that comes in feels like a boardroom choice rather than a tactical necessity. And while Maresca seems to be tactically intelligent, his lack of influence over recruitment makes him look like a coach executing orders more than a manager shaping a project. The only area where Chelsea have truly invested well is midfield, and even that feels more accidental than strategic. Stumbling upon Cole Palmer is the perfect example as well. Yes, Palmer has become one of Chelsea's standout players, but let's be honest, they overpaid for him in terms of his initial market value. No one from Chelsea's hierarchy can convincingly say they knew he would develop into a star that he has become. Palmer's rise feels like a rare stroke of luck in a sea of poor planning. And that's the worrying part. A top club like Chelsea should be run by structure and vision, not by chance and reactionary spending. Right now, Chelsea feel like a team stuck in between eras. Not bad enough to be irrelevant, but not coherent enough to be great. They have a collection of talented individuals, but very few leaders. You can't see a clear tactical identity on the pitch that defines what this new Chelsea is supposed to be. Under Maresca, there are moments of control and possession-based football, but they often fade under pressure, especially against the top sides. It's almost as if Chelsea are rebuilding endlessly without ever finishing the structure. Every transfer window brings a dozen new players and a dozen exits, keeping the club in a permanent state of flux. And with so much emphasis on potential resale value, it's hard to see genuine sporting ambition driving the decisions. At the moment, Chelsea are top 6 material at best, but nowhere near title challengers. For a club that has spent more than any club in Europe, that's a serious underachievement. Given the amount of time and money invested into this project, there's a sense of staleness, as if the project has lost its direction, not entirely, but somewhat. Chelsea have always been a proud club, a team that built its identity on winning serious trophies, not just collecting project points. From the Mourinhos and the Ancelottis to even the short-term successes under Tuchel, the club was defined by a ruthless drive to win. But under Todd Boehly, that edge feels gone. Unless Chelsea starts winning meaningful silverware again, Boehly will never earn the respect of die-hard Chelsea fans. Spending big means nothing without tangible success. The owners seem more focused on business optics, sponsorships, marketing, resale values than on the soul of the club itself. And while modern football is undoubtedly commercial, the greatest clubs still maintain a balance between business and legacy. Not Manchester United, of course, but some clubs do. Right now, Chelsea don't have that balance. They look like a billion-pound experiment searching for validation. Until they rediscover that hunger to dominate on the pitch, to win rather than just compete, this era will be remembered as a waste of potential and poor leadership. Chelsea fans don't want stability, they want glory, and no amount of flashy signings or friendly tournaments can substitute for that.